Hey guys, Chap Musa again. Welcome back to the channel. You know it's tradition. I gotta thank you guys for liking, subscribing, commenting and interacting with us. You guys rock. Remember, without you guys, this channel would not be possible and we would not be able to share our passion and knowledge with you guys. So today I'm super excited. This is the first episode of this particular series where we'll be showcasing how we are going to be restoring two very special vehicles. So behind me is one of my exes, my ex shadow line, henna red shadow line, which I've sold to a good friend of mine, Bling. You know Bling, I always mention him in a lot of my videos. Bling took one of my ISs for a drive. First time ever he's driven an IS and he fell in love. After he was done with his test drive, he knew at that moment he wanted to own a shadow line or a 325 IS. Luckily for him, I had one of my personal cars for sale, which is the shadow line you see behind me. And Bling was hooked. We made a deal happen and we're going to be restoring the vehicle for him, which I'm super excited for. Now, my 535 is actually in the way. I'm actually going to be moving the car to make way for Jeremy's 325 IS. You might remember Jeremy's 325 IS as the smashed IS. The IS that everyone said could not be repaired. But then again, everyone's not Chicanos. So we're going to show you guys how we are going to give new life to these two beauties. So I want you guys to follow me. I want to show you how intense it is when we do have to move a car, how many cars we got to move. So you guys must actually count with us. How many cars does it take to get Jeremy's IS into the workshop and into its bay? It's super exciting. Luckily, it's quarter past load shedding as usual. And while we're waiting for the electricity to come on, we might as well move the brass car. Looking forward to it. This episode is going to be awesome. I'm going to show you guys in depth exactly what we are going to be doing with both the cars. So I hope you're looking forward to it as much as I am. So stay tuned, guys. You guys are going to be blown away. Okay guys, so in any workshop, it's important to invest in the correct tools. This is something that I should have invested in a very long time. It makes your life so much easier, especially with the type of work we do, because we receive a lot of cars that are non-mobile. So you lose production time trying to move non-mobile cars, pumping up tires, jacking cars up, changing tires, etc, etc. So this tool is super useful. The guys at Adendorf hooked us up with a very good deal. Thank you guys for hooking us up. You guys rock. So this basically works in a way where you jack the car up, you put the wheel of the car on this side or on this section, and the load capacity is 1,500 pounds, which is more than enough to carry today's cars. You can even load a car as heavy as a Chevy Impala and you'll still be able to move it.
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it.
The nice thing is it's got lockable wheels. So if you are on an incline or maybe while you're putting it up and you reach a certain point, you can lock the wheels so the car doesn't roll down and bump you over. So I particularly bought 4 of these for this car, not realizing that I should have bought it a long time ago because it was going to make our life a lot easier. So my main man Dennis is busy jacking up the car now, and we're about to put this car in the workshop and give this car some new life. So I'm looking forward to it. If you guys need any tools, make sure you go to any Adendorf store and tell them that Chip sent you. Right, guys, so let's dive into the few projects that we are going to be starting with. I want to tell you that this is my favorite corner in the shop. The reason why it's my favorite corner is because I call it the IS and the shadow line corner. So we've got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah. We've got a total of 8 ISs and shadow lines in one corner of the shop. So I'm super excited. I love walking past here because our IS and a shadow line is a dream car for a lot of E30 guys. And I'm fortunate enough to say that we currently have about 10 in our shop, which is awesome. If I'm not mistaken, I think we have the most ISs and shadow lines in one shop in the country. So it's an honor, it's a dream. I mean, guys, like, growing up as a kid, I never ever thought I'd be building and restoring ISs. Never in my life would I expect to have owned an IS or two. It's always been a dream car of mine and a lot of people. And when we were growing up, we never had money. You know, I'm not saying that we were poor, and you know, our parents come from humble beginnings. And as a kid, you always say, one day when I'm big, one day when I'm big, and now I'm big, and I'm fortunate to say that I own 2 ISs and I'm able to restore ISs on a daily basis. So it's quite a fun thing to do. So behind me is a shadow line. So I initially bought this car as an IS. I sent my good buddy Lukman. The ad was posted, another buddy of mine sent me the ad. We got into contact with the seller and we arranged to go and see the vehicle. However, the seller could only show us the vehicle the next morning. So my buddy Lukman, who's my spotter in Cape Town and my good friend, my go-to guy, so he made contact with the seller and the seller agreed to give us first option. In that time, you can only imagine if an IS is posted for sale, the seller's phone goes crazy. So everyone's phoning. Lukman made it to the guy in the morning and had a look at the car. Now, unfortunately, at the time, I could not confirm whether the car was a genuine IS or not. And I had to roll the dice and buy the car and wait for BMW to confirm whether it's an IS or not. So anyway, BMW, we bought the car. And the main thing that I asked Lukman to check for was the 5-volt suspension which the car had. He also checked that the kit was plastic, and at the time the motor was separate in the car and the car was in pieces. So I made an offer, the seller accepted, and I bought the car. But according to the seller, most of the parts were there. And when I got the car back in Johannesburg, when I went through all the parts, it was found that a lot of the parts that the seller said was there was indeed not there. So that already was a sign for me to say, okay, you know what, am I going to be disappointed on this car or not? So nonetheless, when BMW confirmed, they confirmed that the car is not an IS, it's a shadow line. So remember, like I said, the difference between an IS and a shadow line, the IS is your normal 2.5 motor. It does not have the aluminium body panels, it does not have the aluminium control arms, and the Alpina bits and bobs. However, if you are to buy a shadow line, this is the best spec shadow line you can buy because it's in the infamous henna red color. It's also got the plastic MTEC kit which shows on the system at BMW as the standard option for the car, and it's also got the 5-volt suspension, so, and sunroof as well. So this car is, or if you're going to buy a shadow line, this is the shadow line you want to buy because it's the closest thing to an IS. Now this car, like I mentioned earlier, I bought blind, found out that it's not an IS, and then decided nonetheless I still want to build the car. So tried building it. You guys know the story that my cars never get any attention. However, I tried, so I stripped the car down, started a little bit with the motor, had a look at the suspension, you know, so I started the journey, and the journey is what you see behind me. So a few other cars popped up while I owned this car, so I needed to sell this car to buy a few other cars or buy another car. And this particular car I tried to sell to 4 different buyers. The first one was a good friend of mine, Cheslin. I sold it at the time where we were under the impression that the car was a genuine IS. When we had a look, the car was not a genuine IS, so rightfully Cheslin had a right to pull out of the deal. So in instances like that, it is okay to pull out of the deal. Then I had 3 other kebabs who wanted to buy the car, who were serious buyers, and asked me to send banking details. And in fact, the one oak even asked me to put the car together so he can take it because he's buying it as is. Sent me pictures of his bank statements. He's waiting for money to clear. Never came through. I had another oak also who bought 2 previous cars from me. This oak also messed me around. After he confirmed he wanted the car, he ghosted me. So for some reason, this car I tried to sell on 4 different occasions, and it wouldn't go anywhere because the buyers pulled out of the deal. Now fast forward a few months, I bought the Evo 1 IS. I'm still going to tell you guys a story about that car because the guy that I bought the car from pulled the car back from me, gave me the car and pulled the car back, went back on his word. However, in that time, I gave my good friend Bling a test drive in an Evo 1 IS, and he was hooked and asked me to get him an IS. I'm like, Bling, you know what? I don't have an IS. I got the Shadow Line, which is the closest thing. You my bra, you can have it for X amount, and Bling was happy. He bought the car. So 2 things I want to tell you is that in this car game, I've learned that people are very dishonest. From the time I bought the car, the seller was dishonest with me. In fact, he owes me some parts which he never sent. The people that were buying the car was dishonest because they never stuck to their word, even though I have it in black and white that they committed to the sale. But that's the car deal. And the Evo 1 IS that I bought, signed for, agreed, took delivery of the car. The guy changed his mind after a week of me having the car, and he came to take the car back. So in this car game, the reason why I'm mentioning this is that you are going to get a lot of dishonest people that don't stick to their word. And I'm telling you, it happens to me. I'm in this game for very long. I've bought and sold a lot of cars. In my collection, I do have quite a bit of cars, and it happens to me all the time. You meet the wrong people and they lie to you and they're dishonest. So my advice to you is don't be like them. If you say you're going to buy a car, take the car and honor your agreement. Don't go against your word, because eventually you affect your reputation in this game, and that is not what you want to do. But enough about my complaining. Let's get on to the car. I am super happy that the previous people never bought the car, because the car ended up by my good friend Bling, and it's staying in our friendship circle. And the best part is that I'm getting the opportunity to restore the car for him. Now I want to show you guys something that's interesting. I mentioned it on previous videos. My first favorite red in an E30 is a henna red. I learned something new that and again, this video is about us learning, and I want to share what I learned with you guys today actually while making this video. There's a gentleman that is trying to buy the Barnfind IS from me. He's a serious collector. He's got over 40 cars in his collection. Some of his cars are E30 M3s, Alpina E30's, the E36 M3 GT series. So there's a lot of rare cars that he does have in his collection, but he doesn't have an Evo 2, and he's trying to buy the car from me. I'm not selling, but he did teach me something. So on the South African BMW models, from the E36 downwards, any car that was manufactured in South Africa has the color on the shock tower by the VIN. So it's mostly in the E30's. So I want to show you guys something. So if you look correctly, it's got the VIN number, and then it's got HR. HR stands for henna red. So that's the factory color for this car. So this is a shadow line in the most sought after color, which is henna red. So that's something that I learned today. I'm actually going to take you guys around and show you Scorco. I'm going to show you the Barnfind Evo 2, and I'm going to show you Jeremy's IS at the end of the video. So for now, the instruction from Bling is that we're keeping it henna red, and we're restoring the car to OEM standard. So I'm going to actually be doing a full episode on restoring this car and the car that's next door to us, because we're going to be building them at the same time. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to your guys' suggestions. Do you think we should keep the car in its original factory color, what color would you go? Also, do you think a shadow line is a very good car to invest in? Let me tell you, the market is detecting that shadow lines are also touching close to R1,000,000 depending on how well the restoration is. ISs have now peaked over 1.3, 1.4 million rand. So now the next best thing is a shadow line. So if you are looking to get into the IS market, but you can't afford to buy an IS, I'm going to give you advice to tell you to invest in a shadow line, because the shadow line is the next best thing to an IS. I hope you guys learned with me as well how to check the color code. But for now, let's move on to the baby standing next to me that I'm excited for. Okay, remember I said this is the IS corner. Now I'm going to show you guys another very special project that we're about to start with. This car belongs to Jeremy. Jeremy owns the car, or has owned the car for many years, and unfortunately met up in a terrible accident where he walked away without a scratch. How lucky is he? That was the car god speaking. So anyway, Jeremy started following me on Instagram and also checked out our YouTube channel. Decided that we are the right people to restore and fix his IS. Came to see me, had a lekker chat, found out the history about the car, and eventually we concluded that the IS will be brought to the shop and we will try and save the car. Now, a lot of people that have seen this car says that this car cannot be saved. But then again, those people are not Chicanos. And I believe that this car can be saved and this car should be saved. However, it is a tall task to save this car, but it's not impossible, and we're going to prove everyone wrong. And that's the thing I love about cars, is that you get to challenge yourself, and that's what I love about this game, is that we challenge ourselves and show our capabilities. So we are going to be saving Jeremy's IS. Now, something I do want to show you guys is that the car was involved in a front smash. So when you look at the car, you guys can see that the bumper stiffener, the cradle is bent, the aircon radiator is stuffed, the pipes, the afflometer box. So the whole car shifted into the corner. However, luckily these parts are readily available, so you can buy parts to replace and fix the car. Now, I want to show you guys what made me believe that this car can be saved. So I want you guys to come and check here. So if you look at the windscreen, you'll notice that the windscreen is cracked, but the A-pillar never actually bent in. So your windscreen rubber is actually perfect. So there's no issues with the windscreen rubber. So that tells me that this car can be saved just by a simple thing like that. So the structure of the car is still straight except the front of the car, which is something that we're going to pull straight. However, it's a car that can be saved. The seats were bent, the steering wheel was bent. So we have recovered the seats in the original Ubacaro fabric, so the seats are done already. And one thing I want to tell you is that this is a very special car. It's got its original aluminium body panels. Now, I actually spoke to Jeremy today, and I gave him I threw a spanner in the works. So when we looked at this car's original color, and I'll show you guys on the shock tower now. This car's color is CR. CR stands for Calypso Red. So Calypso Red is one of the most stunning colors in a 325 IS. So the spanner in the works was when I actually phoned Jeremy and I said, dude, listen, I learned something today. Your car's color is not black, but it's actually Calypso Red. And he was shocked, blown away. So he's deciding now whether we should take the car to the original color or whether we should keep it in the color it is. Okay, so maybe you guys can help us make a decision. Do you think we should keep the IS in the original Calypso Red, or should we go with the Diamond Schwartz Black? I'm keen to hear your suggestions. I'm keen to hear your suggestions on both cars as well. Something that makes this car very special, like I mentioned earlier, it's got its original aluminium control arms and its aluminium body panels. So this is going to be a fun restoration. It's going to be a very challenging one, but eventually when we get it right, you will never say this car was in the condition that it is, like most of the cars that we do. So I'm looking forward to it. And I'm glad for the opportunity that the guys are giving us in order to restore such iconic cars and give them new life, because that's what it's all about. Okay, now stay tuned in the future for the actual restoration post. We're definitely going to be documenting both, and we're going to be learning across the journey. But for now, I want to take you through some of the cars, and I want to show you the factory colors. So we established this is Calypso Red. We established this one is Henna Red. Let's go check what original color is the barn find. I actually confirmed with Ridwan, who taught me. This car's color is A. According to him, A stands for ice white. So that's the color on this car. So the factory color is ice white, like it says on the sticker itself. You guys can see there. So we are most probably going to be keeping this car ice white. It is the original color. So yeah, but I want to show you guys something that gave me a little bit of a shock. I want to take you guys quickly to Skoko. Sharp. Now we come to a part that I didn't expect. So Skoko's, I don't know if you guys can see it here. Okay, so Skoko's color is VS. According to Ridwan, VS is silver. So Skoko's original color is silver, VS silver. So a little bit of a bummer, but it's fine. I mean, it's Skoko. Skoko must be black, and Skoko is due for a respray. And I always wanted a black IS, so I'm happy with it being black. So I don't mind, because it's a type of car that I want to build to what I want. And whether I sell it and get premium or not, it's irrelevant, because it's a bucket list car and it's a car that I always wanted. But the Evo 2 IS, because of the direction we're taking with it, I think we're going to keep it white. Even though somehow every time I end up with the E30, it's either black or white. I would have liked a different color, or it's cream. I would have liked a different color, but I don't know, for some reason these colors just get attracted to me. Maybe it's a universe, or maybe I'm calling it. But yeah, so do you guys think we should change Skoko's color? Should we make it silver, or do you think we should keep it black? Love to hear your feedback. I'm leaning on the black, so I definitely want to keep it black, but I love to hear your suggestions. Cool. So guys, once again, we've come to the end of this episode. The next few episodes on this series will be the actual restoration of the cars, and we're going to take you guys through exactly in detail how we restore the cars and the process, etc. So looking forward to that. And I want to say once again, shout out to all our subscribers, to everyone that's been watching, interacting, commenting. We love you guys. We appreciate your support, all the positive feedback. And also, I think that we need to give my cameraman some credit. He's improved a hell of a lot from the first video we shot. So I think we need to give him a well done. Well done, Thielen. Thank you for the improvement. We appreciate you, brah. And then, more importantly, thank you to these following gents. I promise you, I love reading your guys' comments and interacting. You guys have no idea how much you motivate us to do better. And again, please get everyone that you know to subscribe, share, like, to join this journey. I'm proud to say that this channel is for you guys, and we're taking it worldwide. And I appreciate the feedback we've been getting. You guys are awesome, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Have a lekker afternoon, guys. See you guys soon.